Hello everyone, good evening. We'll start in a few minutes. Let's just wait for others to join this meeting. Okay, so good evening again, everyone. So we are now in our last week for Block 2. So there are only two topics left for Block 2. Then next week, we will proceed to the discussion of Block 3. So before we proceed with the discussion of for today's topic, let's just be clear as well that you have to finish all your homeworks for block one if any, and block two, so that you will be able to proceed to block three at is, because you won't be having any backlogs when we start our block three. So, before the discussion proper, mentor, do you want to say something first?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Um, for the ones that are here, thank you for keeping up with your assignments. But since this is also recorded and your other classmates tend to rely on the recordings rather than actually making the time to be here and actually doing the assignments. Um, I just want to make it clear that to be able to receive the certificate of completion for data analytics, you need to be able to have no um, missed assignments or missed homeworks. So that means you guys are complete with all of your homework. Complete meaning that they are all approved. Regardless of the number of times you submit it, what we're looking at is the approval rate. Second, if you guys are not able to join the final group project because you missed the homework, then automatically you are just getting a certificate of attendance, right? And I just want to remind everybody that a certificate of attendance is not going to land you a job. What they are looking for is a certificate that um, certifies you that you had completed the course, that you have had basic training, and that you understand what the role requires. That is what is going to land you a job. On top of all the other credentials that you guys have been able to amass thus far. So that's college, high school, so on and so forth. Okay. I want to see all of you guys succeed as data analysts. Truly, that is what Christine and I want from the bottom of our hearts. That's why we are taking the time to really make sure that we can help you as best as possible in that journey. However, if you guys do not find it in yourselves to really, really want this, to either skill up or do a massive career change into an industry that is going to be pretty stable for the next decade at least, because analytics with the uh, human element cannot be replaced by AI. So in terms of job security, compared to the full stack guys, compared to the quality assurance guys, we're pretty good for the next decade at least. AI cannot replace us because AI does not have critical and logical thinking. That is what separates us from the machines. So no matter how good the Python script, JavaScript, or whatever other script or code you use to create machine learning will not hold a candle to what our brains are able to do. Okay? So if you guys want to squander an opportunity to learn and to be able to change the circumstances or where you guys are at this point in time in your life, we don't know what that is. That, that's your process. That's none of our business. However, if you want that change to come, you have to grab it.
Copy po.
Hindi pera namin yung winawaldas para dito. Dahil tapos na kami ni Christine. Ako, I took my chance already and nilubos ko sa refocus. Christine did it in her own way. Lubusin nyo ang opportunity nyo with this course. Because Go IT being 8 years running, the best in Ukraine, the only one in Ukraine that is internationally recognized. If not in the West, at least in Europe. And that's still going to be a very big market. Because, like, let's say you guys want to be digital nomads, a place like Estonia, of all places, actually has a digital nomad visa that you guys can be able to get because of a simple certification that you're getting from Go IT because you met all of the agreements. So you can be earning in euros, which is a hell of a lot better than earning in dollars. Currently, you're looking at the US dollar to a Philippine pesos. One US dollar is about 55 pesos on average. A euro hasn't gone down from the line of 6. So you can imagine how much more you're going to be able to um, earn and really earn comfortably. So keep that in mind. This is real talk because, quite frankly, for the ones that are present here in the um, live session, my hats off to you for really doing your best to stay as up to date as possible with your homework so that you're all current as best as humanly possible. Right? That shows me that, and that shows Christine that you guys want this enough to really set the time aside to learn. Kudos to Gian because he's actually the first one to have completed all of the assignments in block 2. So let that sink in. And he has a 9 to 5 that he's juggling from my understanding, and yet he still had made the time to be current with all homework. Okay? This is not specific to the participants that are present in the live session, but this goes out to everybody within Data Analytics 1. If you guys are going to be watching this later on because it is a recording, so on and so forth, and couldn't be bothered to go to the live session and take advantage. Couldn't be bothered to reach out and have one-on-one sessions just to make sure that we can catch up and make sure that we're all current. I may sound stern, but my sternness is coming from frustration. Really, it is. As a mentor, I want to be able to help you guys as best I possibly can. But I can't do that if you guys don't reach out and ask for the help. I don't know where you guys are at. So I hope this will be the last time that I have to talk like this because I really don't like talking like this. Okay?
Copy po.
All right. You have the floor, Christine. Take it away.
Okay, so thank you, mentor, for those reminders. So now let's just move on to our next topic. So what is database and a data warehouse? So we have discussed this actually during the block 1, wherein we have defined what a database and what a data warehouse is. So again, a database is mostly utilized and built for recording data, while a data warehouse, in contrast, is useful for data analysis. The data warehouse is used for large analytical queries, whereas databases are often geared for read-write operations when it comes to single-point transactions. So we have here OLAP, or the Online Analytical Processing, and the OLTP, which is Online Transaction Processing. So these are two different data processing systems designed for different purposes. So again, OLAP is optimized for complex data analysis and reporting, while OLTP is optimized for transactional processing and real-time updates. So a warehouse contains data from many sources. So it is not used for storing application working data. It can store and process a lot of data, and it may contain historical data, duplicates, and it is used for data analysis. So these are the different examples of a cloud data warehouse. So we have here Snowflake, Google BigQuery, which is a tool that we will be using. Then we also have IBM Cloud, Teradata, Panoply, Amazon Redshift, Azure, SAP, Yellowbrick, and Oracle. And um, normally you would actually read something about this cloud data warehouses when you are scrolling for new job positions. I know that as early as now, you're already eyeing for a certain position. So I know that this cloud data warehouses um, are not that of a stranger to uh, most of you, if not everyone. So why the cloud? So cloud data warehouses provide more powerful computing that supports streaming data, allowing you to query data in real time. As a result, you can access and use data much faster than with an on-premises data warehouse, allowing you to get more accurate insights faster and make more informed business decisions. Cloud computing gives your business more flexibility. You can quickly scale resources and storage up to meet business demands without having to invest in physical infrastructure. So when using cloud, companies don't need to pay or build the infrastructure needed to support their highest load levels. So the advantages of BigQuery includes first the integration with other Google tools and many third-party tools. So by saying the third-party tools, these are the tools that are not part of the Google ecosystem. So BigQuery integrates seamlessly with various data analysis and visualization tools such as Google Data Studio, Tableau, and Looker. This allows you to connect and analyze data using the tool of your choice, providing a convenient data analysis process. One more thing is scalability. So BigQuery has a serverless architecture. This means that users hand over all the worries about maintaining servers and ensuring their stability to Google. That is why, based on your own needs, you can easily increase the amount of storage if, for example, you have more data to store or process. So this is how we get flexible scalability. And lastly, one of the advantages of using BigQuery is it works with large amount. It When it comes with working with large amounts of data. So BigQuery distributes query processing to many parallel servers, which allows you to achieve high query execution speed. This is especially important when working with large amounts of data, where processing speed plays a key role. So we have mentioned this before that when executing a query, an SQL script, it doesn't always give you the results right away. So it would still need time for it to give you the result. So it is one of the advantages of using BigQuery because it doesn't take as much time as those who are, for example, those who are not cloud-based databases. So BigQuery is a part of the Google Cloud platform. So on the Google Cloud platforms, we have here ways on how to compute. We have here the management, the networking, storage and databases, big data, identity and security, and machine learning. So this Google Cloud platform is really big actually. Um, it doesn't what do you call this? It doesn't have just one work. So it doesn't just the Google Cloud platform doesn't just focus on one thing. So it focuses on many several things, such as these things that are written in here. So a BigQuery is a place to store and transform data. So as we can see in here, during the ingestion of the data, so We have here the sources where we can gather our raw data. So we have there the Google BigQuery, a cloud storage, Google Sheets, databases, applications, and file upload. So for preparation on storage, so for the preparation part on which we will be able to clean up our data, so we can use BigQuery in here. So when we already have our refined data, then we can store them using BigQuery or other cloud storages. And for the analysis and machine learning, we have their BigQuery machine learning, the Looker, the Google Data Studio, partner BI services, and the cloud AI platform. So as you can see in here, from the storage of the data, from gathering your data source up to the analysis, you can see that BigQuery can do it all. So BigQuery has several tools for downloading data. So we have there the cloud storage. Then we also have here the BigQuery DTS, or the data transfer service. So the BigQuery data transfer service automates data movement into BigQuery on a scheduled managed basis. Then we also have here the data fusion. So the cloud data fusion is a fully managed code-free data integration service that helps users efficiently build and manage the ETL data pipelines. So ETL means the extract, transform, load data pipelines. Then we also have here the data flow. So the data flow SQL lets you use your SQL skills to develop streaming data flow pipelines right from the BigQuery web UI. Then we also have the data stream. So streaming data from relational databases. This data stream reads and delivers every change, insert, update, and delete from MySQL, PostgreSQL, and Oracle. So we also have their other third-party databases, which are the SAP data services and other partner integrations such as Informatica. So SAP and Informatica are one of the tools that we can use to create ETL data pipelines, or those what we call the extract, transform, and load. So the BigQuery interface overview. So when you are able to open your BigQuery, so you can see there your project selection, your data sets and tables, writing of your queries, and you can also export your query results. So some of the useful functions of BigQuery are saving queries and views, scheduled queries, and data transfer. So we have here um, free data sets that I will provide you, so that you will be able to have your data wherein you can actually practice in using BigQuery. So just remember, BigQuery is not a free product. So for those who were already able to open BigQuery, for those who already have the subscription, we already know that this is not a free product, that this has a subscription cost. But we can still use the free trial. So that is what we will be using. Um, so this was a reminder last week. So I hope that you already accessed your BigQuery. So I'll just um, open share this link to you so that you can get your free datasets. I'll leave it on the chat so you can already open it if your BigQuery is opened already. Now, do we have any questions so far?
None so far po.
Okay. So let me just, if there are no other questions, let me show you on how we will be able to access BigQuery. So now, for those who haven't opened the BigQuery yet, you can follow me. So you will be able to open. So usually when you open this the tab for the Google search, so you can see here the option on what do you call this? The option to start your free trial. So you can click that one, and then um, we you can select get started for free or start free, and then you will get $300 for free to use the service of the BigQuery. So your free trial will be for up to 3 months. So you will be able to use it for 3 months if you will not um, subscribe to its um, what I call this, to its paid paid platform. So yeah. So the step two will be the account information. So as for me, I linked my bank account in here, so it doesn't charge me anything since I have free $300, and it won't charge you anything unless you allowed Google platform to charge you whenever needed. So it's safe to link your accounts in here. So
You,
when you are
you'll
able,
also only be charged, sorry, Tin. You'll
okay,
also only be charged if you go beyond the um the quota per month, and that is listed in um LMS. That's why they're asking you to use the limit operator at the end of your queries to limit the amount of rows that are returned to you when you execute your query. Okay, that's important. Um, However, with what you guys need to be able to query, especially for the homework, which is the biggest thing, if you use the limit operator, you guys will not go over the um, quota per month, because you have to realize the size of the data set that they outlined in LMS for you guys to use contains over 200,000 rows. So you need to limit it. Even if you just limit it to 10 or 15, that's fine. As long as your script runs and it returns what is being asked for in the task list, then that's fine. I will accept that. Okay. I'll go over the assignment later in a little more detail once Tin finishes with her bit.
Okay, so thank you for that, mentor. So yes, and also I will drop another link in here where you can gather data sets. Okay, so after you are inside, I mean you have already signed up for BigQuery, then you can now go to your console. So it would look like this. So when you are on your console, um, on the tools tab in here on the left side, you can see there a few platforms of Google. So we will just focus here on BigQuery Studio. So when you're inside of the BigQuery Studio, you can now explore up to add datasets. If you want to use a local file or Google Object Storage or connections to external data sources, you can go over here. But for now, I will focus on the public dataset that Google BigQuery has. So it's this one, the BigQuery public data. So for us to be able to um, connect, or for us to be able to write an SQL script, so we have here a create SQL query, and then we can already um, write here the queries that we want to write. So one thing about BigQuery that is somehow different from the other platforms that we have used. So, for example, the Postgre is that it has a an array of fields. So it has a field that has the key and the value. So we will go over this later on. So are you all connected to BigQuery by now?
No po.
Are you having a hard time connecting or something, Alex?
Iba po yung lumalabas sa akin po.
Sige, can you drop a screenshot kung ano yung lumalabas sa'yo?
Wala yung sinusundan po kasi na video to connect.
Mm-hmm.
Iba yung lumalabas sa actual na sa latest version ng DBeaver. Wait lang.
Sorry, dbeaver?
Opo, sa DBeaver side na po. Kaya hindi ko po sure kung connected na po totally.
I'll address that,
Um,
Alex, later after Tin's bit
Okay.
if I have time. Once I go over the assignment, because it is a workaround to be able to use BigQuery uh data sets outside of BigQuery by linking it to dbeaver, because dbeaver is um a platform that can access any sort of database for the most part. Um, I'll do my best to squeeze that in later during my bit, but if not, we'll have a one-on-one session about that a little later. So for the meantime, guys, while it's still Tin's bit, we will just focus on BigQuery within BigQuery. Okay. none of the workarounds just yet. So we'll just focus on the console and make sure that you guys are connected. You get a better idea of how to move around BigQuery, because for homework, for the homework for topic 7 and topic 8, because they are combined, it is quite a complicated script that you have to put together, because the syntax is different within BigQuery compared to PostgreSQL. So just let Tin finish her bit first. And like I said, I'll do my best to cover all of that later when I explain the homework. Okay?
Okay. Thank you po.
Okay. So but Alex, you are all already have an access on the BigQuery inside the BigQuery, as in on the Google
Yes.
platform, as not on the DB.
Yes.
Okay. So anyone else? Okay. So for the meantime, I'll give you a few minutes to be able to connect also to the public datasheet that I have sent. So we guys go back at 8:45. Just focus on connecting on the BigQuery first and on the public dataset that I have sent. So see you again later.
Copy.
Hello. So I hope you're all back. So now let's proceed with our discussion. Now I have here a sample query. It's from the public data that I have given you. So it's from the table name, this one, and it has limits. So as you can see in here, I have limited the result to 100, but the query will process a 1.62 gig win run. So it is a bit um, big for a data set of just 100. So anyway, I have used this script to be able to have my sample data. So I have here the sample data adds sample. So when we are querying a script, so for example, I will just open my sample data. So I have to select all from the schema sample work, then our sample table. And then in here, you will see immediately if your query would successfully run or not. So for example, I have here, for example, I wasn't able to name my table correctly. So it would immediately say that this table is not existing in here. So it's one of the advantages of using the BigQuery because it would save you time from actually waiting for everything to run. Then um I mean, for example, you are writing a long SQL script, and then on the middle of writing you weren't able to see that you have typed a wrong field or a wrong script, something like that. So you will be able to figure out that you did something wrong when you execute your SQL script. But when you are here in the BigQuery, it will show you instantly that there is an error and what does the error implies. So it's one of the features of a BigQuery that is not present to Postgre that we have used on the last few weeks. So I will correct the table name now. And then as you can see in here, we don't have the error anymore. And it also states the memory that it will take when we ran this query. So for example, I will run this. So for the query result, we will have here the job information, the result. Then we also have here a chart preview, JSON, execution details, and execution graph. and execution graph. Okay, so now we will focus in here. So as you can see from the tools in here, we have a few options to choose. So we have here an option to save query. So if I want to save this query, so I will just um, say click save query, or I can also save copy as a view. So you are already familiar for what a view is. So from here, you it is possible that you will not type that you are creating a view. Instead, just save this copy as a view, and it will give you the view. And on Google Query, BigQuery, we also have temporary tables wherein um, it automatically drops or deletes after 24 hours. So if you have a temporary table and then you weren't able to drop it for some reason, so it would be fine because Google BigQuery will delete it for you after 24 hours. So in creating a I'll just move it in here. So in creating a temporary table, so we can query it as like this. So we create temp table um temp table as this. Requires a script or session. Okay, so it doesn't have. Okay, let's just create it this way. I forgot the fields. We have the event name. So for example, we have here event name as a string. Where did I go wrong? Was select event name. Hmm. Create temporary session. But I already have it. Why? Why are you like that to me? Okay. Do I have a typo somewhere? No, but why? Create temp table. It's not a typo. I'll get the event name, the data type for a while. Why does it say that it requires a script or session? Okay. Why? Why not qualified though? For a while, why does it say that it is not qualified? 119. It's in here. But I have here the sample work. Then the name. So what is wrong in here? Have the name. Why not be qualified? Why? Why though? I don't understand why. Oops. Okay, sorry for this, but this is just too sensitive. Uh-huh. It should work this way, but why? Select. Oh, um, not familiar with this error, though may not be qualified. Okay, so we will go back to this later on because I'm not sure why it doesn't work. We'll just move on first with the other queries. So I'm not sure why. Okay. Anyway, let's just move on first and then I will go back to this one later. So in this add sample, let me see a preview. So when you have the schema, you have here the fields, event date, event name, the event params, which has a key and the value. So under the values, we have here the string, the integer, the float, and the double value. So this is one of the things that we will encounter as something new because Postgre didn't have this kind of field where we have the keys and the values. Although you were able to deal with this type of data earlier on topics 5 and 6. So it's just also like that for example on the UTM, so we have the UTM campaign and etc etc. So it's just like this, but in this case they are separated and not in the form of a single field and single string. So we have here the preview. So as we can see in here, we only have one event name, but we have several keys and values. So for the event param keys, we have this data, and then they have corresponding value. So we have the string, the integer, the float, and the double. So in this case, it's actually counted as just one data, just one row of data. So these fields are in the form of an array. So with this type of data, this is actually it is actually code denormalized form. So it is in a denormalized form because it's not the usual data set that we deal with. So we have several steps on how will we be able to normalize this denormalized table. So for that, we have here co- so before we normalize this, let's just go over on how this kind of data set would give us different kinds of information. So we have here the offset syntax, wherein we will get the values from this data set. So for example, we just select the event name, the event param, then we offset the event params. So would be like this. Offset at 0 as first param from sample work that adds sample. Then we just limit it to 1 so that we will just be looking at one row. So what does this offset of 0 mean? So basically it just means that um, it will get the first, in this case, the first event parameter from our table. So let's run it. Now we have here the first param key, string, integer, float, and double. So it if we will compare, so this is the first event param key that is identical as this one. So if we want to get the second one, we just change the offset to 1. Then if we want to get the third one, change the offset to 2, and etc. So that way we will be able to see on what are the things that are inside of your event parameters when you have a denormalized data like this. Then if you want to know the length of this array, so you want to know how many keys there are, so we can use here the array length function. So when using the array length, let's just delete this one and select for the array length the event params. length. Para. So now we will have here the result of 9. So meaning we have here 9 keys. And then if we want to normalize this data, like I think it's this one. Details of review. So if we want to achieve a view of something like this, so it's now a normalized data since we have event name on every parameter that we have, instead of having a view of like this wherein you only have one event name per parameter. So for this one, we can use the unnest function and also the cross join function. So it was discussed on the last sessions that cross join is a type of join wherein it distributes the fields on it distributes the data it has from one field to another. So if we want to use this, so let us select again the event name, then the event params, then a nest param from sample work dot add sample. So now we will cross join the nest of add sample that event params. So since we have here an unrecognized name nest param, so the reason is we will use it as an alias on our cross join, a nest function that we will use on the cross join. And then since the length of this parameter is 9, let's limit it to 9 because the expected outputs that we must have is 9. Then let's run it. So in here, as you can see, we still have the events param keys that are lined this way as a denormalized data because we put them on our select statement. So this is to compare. So now we have here an event name, then a nest param key of engagement time msec. So if we will remove this on our select statement, then we will most probably see the application of what we did. So here it is now. We have the view of a what we call a normalized data since we have a one field, one data for every field. So for example, you have this kind of data set. So we have here the sample array. So for example, this is the original data that we have and we want to obtain a denormalized data, then we can create an array. So in creating an array, we can do it like this. So we select the event name, then we use the array aggregation function. So we have named it earlier as the nest param. So we name it now as create array from sample work dot sample array, and then agg, okay, aggregation, and then we group it by event name, event name. So we will now run it. Then we will have the same view. So if you want to order by the key or something, then you can opt to do that. And then one more way of creating an array is using the array function. So we select event name and then the array function, wherein we select this is just a dummy name. So for example, we select a from the list of the event params. Where am I? Okay. As a where key is not equal to, for example, session engage. As create array from sample work that adds sample. And expected keyword join, but God, where is that? Okay, select a from a nest event params. Okay, so we just limit it again to 1. So what I have done here is I am creating an array wherein I selected from the event params, but I don't want the key to be equal to session engage. So we have here a data of a key of session engage. So it's this one. So if I will create an array, then let's run it. Now we don't have a key of session engaged in this result table. So basically, this letter A in here is treated as an alias. So you can name it whatever you want. Just make sure to pair it with this one here after the as so that your SQL could read it. And then we also have scheduled queries. So for the scheduled queries, of course you would want a scheduled query if you have a certain data set that is updating, and then you have uh, you want to have a table that gets updated with your main table, which has only the things that you need. So um, it's not a usual practice, especially if you don't need something out of your data sets that are like updating or something, or um you have uh to have a data set that is always updated. So if you want it, then you can use your scheduled queries. So for example, I want to schedule this query. So I'll just click this schedule, and then I'll just assign here the details of my scheduled query. So I'll just put it here, the name, then how often would it repeat. So it can repeat for minutes to hours to days to weeks to months, or a custom or on demand. But if you tick on demand, it's actually like you're not actually scheduling it, because you will still have to trigger it when you need it. So if you want it to automatically execute on its own, so we can opt to select this option. So we have here the minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, or custom. So and then we have here the at. So it's the time where to when would the job will be executed. So it is in the format of hour and minutes. So you just have to put the time. So you can see here that it is on the time of UTC. Then you can opt to start now, or you can opt to set a time when will it start. Then we'll just have to put here the start date and runtime. Then if you tick the end never, so it will continuously update by itself. Or if you schedule end time, so you can put here your end date. Then the destination of the result, so you can set here the destination table. So you have here the data set. You can have here the data set, then the table ID, and etc. Then you can save in here. So by then you already have a query that is set to run whenever you have assigned it to run. Then we also have here a function wherein you can opt to partition your table. So for example, um, you want to partition your data set to specific dates. So you can also do it on BigQuery using the partition date function. So we also have here the algorithm for calculating the cost of a query in BigQuery. So since it is not a free platform, um, we can actually check on how much do this things that we do cost. So we can have here the Google Cloud pricing. So we can compute in here the you call this the expense that the expense that the activities that we are doing costs. So that is one of the things that of course you would want to check, because we only have $300 credit, and it's just and can be used for only 3 months or 90 days. So of course we don't want to waste any of these credits that they have given us, especially when it is not actually necessary to put that amount in your on the activity that you are doing. And then one more topic is we also have here the product metrics, but these are not actually related to querying in BigQuery, but we have here several product metrics that we can use for the analysis of e-commerce. So we have here the CAR, or the shopping cart abandonment rate. So it indicates the percentage of users who added the product to their cart but never completed the order. So most of them were ready to purchase but got distracted or changed their minds in the last moment. So how do we compute for CAR? So the formula for CAR, or the car abandonment rate, is 1 minus the ratio of shoppers completing transactions and the number of shoppers adding items to the cart. Then we multiply it by 100 to get the rate. Then we also have here the AOV, or the average order value. So for computing the average order value, so we just get the ratio of the total revenue and the total of orders placed. So may it be for a certain timeline, or in general, we can use this formula. Then we also have the CRR, or the cost revenue ratio, wherein it reflects the ratio between how much you spend and how much you receive. So to get this rate, you will just get your the ratio between your expenses and your profit, then multiplied by 100 to get the rate. Then we also have here the LTV, or the customer lifetime value. So it reflects the total amount of money that the customer spends over the entire period they remain your customer. So that is their lifetime value for your business. Marisi, yes, I haven't changed my screen. So I'll just provide you the what do you call this, the formula for this metrics that I have mentioned. So going back, so for the customer lifetime value, so the formula is the average purchase value minus the average purchase frequency times the average customer lifespan. Although for the calculating the LTV, it's actually more accurate to use the cohort analysis, because it's more accurate, and it gives you a wider insight of your customer retention, which you are already familiar with, because we were able to tackle it during the last part of our block one. So, any questions so far? I'll just drop the formulas in
No, so
here.
far.
For a while, I'll just put the formulas on the chat for the metrics that I have mentioned. So while I'm dropping the screenshots, you can ask your questions if you have one. For mentor, you can use this time if you have something to say.
Um, Actually, it's more for the homework already, for the most part. Can I start na tin for
Yeah,
the
sure.
homework? Or you have anything to add pa ba
No, actually, it's everything that I will cover for today.
for tonight? Okay, awesome. So, like I mentioned, guys, assignment for topic 7 and topic 8 is combined. So, I am only expecting you guys to submit the homework under topic 7, or if you want to do it under topic 8, it's up to you. But again, because they are combined, you only have to submit it once. Okay. So the task list for both homeworks is essentially the same. Okay. Each topic lang will be discussing um, BigQuery basics and then Google Analytics 4 basics, respectively. So 7 is for BigQuery, 8 is for GA. Now, for the final homework, um, you are actually going to be using the dataset that Christine dropped. So that will be GA for obfuscated sample e-commerce. So take note of the link. It's also in
LMS.
LMS as a clickable link, so you can click it there as well. Now, you will have 4 tasks to choose from. Okay, so the minimum requirement is at least to do 2. Any combination of the 2 that you would like to do. But like I posted in my Slack channel, I am making task 1 mandatory. Why? Because as the task described or is described, it prepares data for building reports in business intelligence systems. Um, that is going to be something that you guys are going to be doing quite a lot, especially if you're going to get into an entry level data analytics role. Most especially if you're in a team, they usually will have you do the data cleaning and the data prep. And more often than not, the senior data analyst will be the one to do the presentation together with the analysis and offering up insights and recommendations, because that will be part of his or her role. Okay, not necessarily yours. However, if you're doing it freelance, you're on your own, no one else but you, then you do everything. So this will be part of the process from start to finish that you will have to get very used to doing. So how you do it in BigQuery is going to be somewhat different compared to your other SQL platforms. But like I mentioned before, the platform um, syntaxes will change, right? Because it depends on how the platform was programmed or created um, by the developers. So, task 1, it's fairly simple in terms of how it's explained. Just create a query to get a table about events, users, and sessions within the GA4 dataset. And as a result of executing the query, you should be able to get the table that includes all of the fields bulleted in both sections for task 1. Okay. You can write both queries in one long script. Just make sure that you add the comments so that I know where task 1 starts and it ends, and I know where the following task starts and it ends. Task 2 is to calculate conversions by date and traffic channel. Pretty self-explanatory. I will let you just read through that in greater detail. So each of the bullets corresponds to the fields that should appear in the SQL script. There is a note here for task 2 that the different users can have the same session ID. Therefore, to count the unique sessions of unique users, you need to consider not only the session ID, but also the user ID. So that gives you a clue on how to format your script for task number 2. Okay. Now for task number 3, comparing conversion rates between different landing pages. Here you need to get the page path, and you can get that from the page location table in the session start event. So I'll just leave you to read through that in greater detail. If this is a task that you want to combo with task one, then by all means, go right ahead. Make sure that you read all the notes for each of the tasks because tasks 2, 3, and 4 have their own notes. So if you want to do a combo of 1 and 2, feel free to do that, or 1 and 3, or 1 and 4. Those are the only possible combinations for the tasks, right? Like I said, task one, I want to make that mandatory because I want to get you guys um, used to prepping your data in SQL so that if that is an integral part of your process, whether you're doing it freelance because that's your preference, or if you're doing it in a team within a corporation and that is standard operating procedure, then you have to follow that. So you have to get used to it. Um, now, it does say here that the format of the assignment, because this is in the Google ecosystem, just to save the queries in BigQuery with the public setting um, in place so that it's accessible to everybody in the internet, and then copy the link to each query and paste it in the homework box in LMS. Okay, so very specific on how the format of the assignment can be submitted. Now, there is a workaround. So this is what Alex was harping on earlier on, that let us say you're already reaching the monthly quota limit for BigQuery because you are querying like crazy and you're not using the limit operator like is instructed um, in the task list. There is a workaround to do this, and it's through dbeaver. Now, there was a YouTube video that Carlo was able that Gian was able to find on the interwebs. I'm gonna drop it in the chat. Spam it a couple of times. It's all the same link. Please make sure to copy that and review it on your own. Um, why am I offering this as a workaround? Because you will be able to query a bit more, get used to the syntax without adversely affecting your monthly quota in BigQuery, right? That's the only drawback that I see with BigQuery as a platform compared to all of your other platforms, because BigQuery is within the ecosystem of Google, right? That's why the limit operator is very, very important. Especially when you're testing out your scripts, just making sure that they run properly without any errors. Now, you have to watch the YouTube video to understand the information that's being asked and the process to be able to link the database or the dataset to the Beaver from BigQuery. Can I can you set me to be able to share my screen real quick?
Okay, sure.
Thank you. Let me just wait
Well,
to where am I? Screen one. Yeah. Alright, do you guys can see my screen?
Yes po.
All right, cool. Thank you. All right. So, where am I? I am in the main area for your Google Cloud. So this is the main landing page where you can go into BigQuery. Okay. But what I'm going to show you guys here is the key that is important here in the Beaver. The key that I'm talking about is, give me 1 minute. Edit a connection thing here. Can you guys see the window for dbeaver?
Yes, nandun.
Okay. Oops, sorry. Shouldn't have collapsed that. All right. So this is what your um, connection settings window is going to look like for dbeaver when you select Google BigQuery. The project name will be the project name here that will appear on your console. So that's what you plug in. Your server info, this is going to be defaulted to BigQuery v2 port 443. Leave that intact. Um, Authentication type will be service based, right? And key path, this is the most important. This is the .json file that needs to be created um, within this landing page that I'm on for Google Cloud, because this key path is what is going to actually link dbeaver to Google BigQuery. Okay, so I'm just gonna add that. So when you're on this landing page, look for IAM and admin, and click that, and then one quick moment. From there, you have to create a service account. I already created mine. And then when you create your service account, right, you'll have your three dots here for actions. Go to manage keys. And it's going to give you the option for add a key. All right. So Alex, pay attention. This is what you were asking for. When you do
Yes,
the
Mario.
drop down, create a new key. And this is what came out in the video. They made it a little harder to find with the recent updates to BigQuery because, for the most part, Google wants you to stay in the ecosystem so that they can make one off of you. That's the bottom line. But, we are resourceful and we're going to find ways. So we BDO this shit. And select the key type JSON and create. Okay. What that's going to do is it's going to download .json file into your downloads for the browser. So when you go back to your key path within the connection settings for BigQuery, just open up your downloads and you're going to see the .json file there. That is what you're going to open. And once you open it, go ahead and click finish. It should make close this lang. It should come out in your database navigator. It will essentially come out like this. Pop it down. Then you'll have your database exactly like you would have here for the Postgre SQL database. Going to be the same thing. However, you guys are going to notice that there's no drop-down window for the tables because unlike here in databases for Postgre under schemas, when you go into public, down to tables, it's going to list everything, right? Here it's not. Okay, so do not wonder why it's not showing up. That is because you will have to query, do a sample query. So this is the sample script that I did. This is what it pulled up. Now you're going to notice for the rows, there's going to be black arrows, which you can toggle down and it will expand that row. So this is what you would see with what the results that Christine pulled up when she did the queries in BigQuery itself. It's gonna come out like this. So not all of the information is going to be readily available because this particular database is actually read only. So the formatting is going to be left intact. So you see if I hover over this, the shortcut that it's going to give is the sample that it's going to give is the way that it's coded, which is not UTF-8. So that is how you, or that is how you get the most important part of the information that you need to be able to complete the um, link of BigQuery into dbeaver. Okay, so this is a good option if you want to practice using the syntax of BigQuery, because there are going to be some companies that, or some clients, if you're a freelancer, that actually like using the Google ecosystem. So it's a very good thing to actually have this um, under your belt in terms of the know sort of stuff. Now, let me just for this load. Okay. Let me just close this. Show you this. Okay. So this is the data set that you guys are going to be looking for. All right. GA4, obfuscated sample e-commerce. Now, you get this breakdown of what's within this particular data set by just doing the action and open for the events. And that's going to open all of this. All right. Now, when you're doing your queries, the best way to figure out how to formulate your from line will be when you have this in the schema tab, it will default into the schema tab. Go into details, table ID. That is basically going to be your from line. Okay. So when you start doing your queries, You just have to copy this and you will be able to formulate your from line. Now, let us say that this is going to come up. I'm just going to sample this for you guys. So select everything from, right? So it says that my query will be processed. It's only going to be 19 megabytes when it's run. Okay. But let us say that you are not sure what to reference for the table suffix. You can do this. Frack. Why is it not cooperating?
You can remove the apostrophe,
So,
mentor.
huh?
You can remove the apostrophe
Yeah.
from both
So
ends.
it will say that it's a syntax error because I have completed this. You're normally going to follow this up with a table suffix. So I will leave you guys to figure that out, but this will come out. So when you formulate your from line or table name in this case, this way, it leaves it open-ended. So you can now add in your table suffix to be 2, and then it's going to be a string, okay, that you're going to enter here, and you'll be able to query run the query so that you'll be able to have a complete table. Just remember to get it. It's in the details tab under the events table. Here so far, guys. No, Cherry, it will not affect the $300 budget because here's the technicality that I've been able to um understand based on the literature that I've read. The $300 free budget that BigQuery gives you is within BigQuery only, right? Kasi when you link it to an external platform like dbeaver in this case, right? You're referencing from the table, but you're not pulling resources to actually run it. Basically, what dbeaver is going to do is reference that for you. So it's not necessarily going against your quota in BigQuery because it's outside of the ecosystem. So this is one of the reasons why Google doesn't really want to teach you guys or make it readily accessible for you guys to do this because they technically lose out on revenue. Right? So let's say maubos yung $300 free budget na binigay sa inyo within the first month because you're querying like crazy. Um, that's when they're going to start charging you. So anytime you go over your monthly quota, and the monthly quota is listed in the documentation that I posted in my channel. I will just stop sharing as well because I'm pretty much done. Um, when you guys go beyond your quota, again, that's when they're gonna start charging you. So I posted in my Slack channel. Please make sure that you guys read it for cripe's sakes. Um, where is it? Where was it? I posted documentation here for BigQuery. I just can't find it at this point. Um, the documentation for BigQuery is there. The quotas and limits are listed. It's actually quite easy to find if you just Google it. Quotas and limits for Google BigQuery, that's going to be your search string. And it should be the first thing that comes out because Google's going to promote that like crazy. And you'll be able to go over all of your limits for that particular month. Okay. So again, just a reminder, please do not forget the limit operator at the bottom. You don't need to go crazy with the number. You can set it to 5, at the most 10, because like I said, the database or the data set is rather large. Some of it's over 200,000 rows. So even pulling 10 out of that 200,000 is going to be a sizable amount of information because you are going to be referencing multiple fields within the events data set. Okay. So again, submission of the assignment is either following what's on LMS, which is the link, just copy it and paste. So if you're doing 2 tasks, it's going to be 2 links. Or you can do it in dbeaver, just do both tasks in one really long script and just comment accordingly what's task 1, where it starts, where it ends, what is task 2, where it starts, where it ends. I will accept either. Okay? Gets?
Copy po.
Okay. Good job. Questions, clarifications, violent reactions, if any.
Hello.
Malay?
Sorry, I just want to highlight as well that the second session for this week will be tomorrow. So we will see you guys again tomorrow and not on Wednesday.
Yeah. Because Wednesday and Thursday is actually going to be catch-up sessions. Um, I also wanted to take the time because most of the transferees from Full Stack are here. So for the transferees, I will want to have a additional sessions with you guys within this week because you need to catch up with block 1, all right, to be able to qualify to join the final group project and to be able to get your certificate of completion. All right. And that goes for all of you. Please aim for the certificate of completion. Okay. I cannot stress that enough. And I really don't want to harp on it anymore moving forward. But that is what is going to get your foot in the door and land you a data analyst job. Nothing else. So if that is not your goal, then Christine and I really cannot do much to help you with whatever you want to do in life, right? So Lizette, Karen, and Marisi, I will want to have extra sessions with you guys. Please join the Slack server and add my channel so that you can message me directly. If your schedules will permit for the transferees to have the session all at once, that would be fantastic so that we can get you current with the block one assignments so that we can finish out block two, and then you guys are going to be current for block three. So I know it's asking for a lot, but I will do my best to help you guys breeze through it as much as possible and give you a crash course because you have missed a lot. But it will be a lot easier than full stack. You're not dealing with Java here. The most complex that we have is SQL and Python. So since you guys were already doing Java, Python's going to be a piece of cake. Okay. Anything else, Christine, that you want to add before we let these guys go for the night?
No, none for me. I just said for the transferees, if you'll be needing my help or you have any questions regarding the lessons for blocks 1 and 2, just message me on Slack as well. And that's it. Oh, thank you,
Alrighty.
guys.
So, yep. Thanks for spending the last 2 hours with us. If you need spot checks with your assignments, let me know or let Christine know. If you guys need one-on-one sessions, let us know in advance so that we can block off the time. I'm a little more flexible with one-on-one sessions because I don't have a 9 to 5. Christine does, and she has quite a bit of travel time that she has to do whenever she is made to report to the site. And her sites actually differ quite a bit because her company's a little crazy that way. So one-on-ones focus on me for the most part, but if you need spot checks or you have any questions, feel free to message either of us. Okay? So that's it. Thanks very much, guys. Have a good night. Boo.
Thank you.
You
Thank
see you
you.
again tomorrow. Good
Thank you.
night.